So Kevin Holland versus Jacare. Well, Holland was staring at 5 consecutive fights and wins in the year 2020, done from not like January, February, by the way, but in the spring as well. And you think he was maybe under a little bit of pressure, given that the media are now bigging him up and all of the headlines that we've seen around him recently. But no. So he's coming out and he's singing to the security guy. So I guess if you can't sing with the crowd, then the next best thing is either your corner or the security guy. The security guy didn't really get involved as much as I hope he would do, but maybe next time. So that was pretty funny. And then it gets funny again when he was going around to his corner, giving the whole fist bump and everything else. He had a cornerman that he didn't fist bump, and the guy was sort of left hanging. But the universe delivered for that cornerman, because when Kevin Holland looked to fist bump Dana on the way out of the octagon, Dana didn't meet the leather. So it was 1-1. Now, before I get on to talking about the fight, this fist bumping, handshaking thing happened to me back in the day with Francis Ngannou. Pretty intimidating guy, right? Maybe one of the most scary guys walking planet Earth. This was a couple of years back, and in the UK, there's a guy called Tim Lovejoy, and he did this thing where you'd walk up and you'd show the hand as the person that you were greeting went for the other hand. You'd kind of miss and maybe just stroke the hair back. Now, I'm pretty sure that Francis hadn't watched Soccer AM and Tim Lovejoy and was involved in this wave of things that was going around, but pretty much every time you met someone in the UK, if you were a dude, you'd be looking out for this. Fast forward a number of years and we're in MMA, and I'm now facing one of the scariest guys in the world. He put the hand out, I went to get, and he pulled back and he did the thing. I'm like, oh my God, like, what do I do here? So I'm laughing with him, he's got me, you know, all's fair in love and war. Later that day, same day, I am at the elevator, lift, for those in the UK, and Francis Ngannou comes up. Here's my chance. So here I go. Hand out, Francis comes over with his, I pull back, ha ha, 1-1. You'd think Francis would be like, you got me. No. Acted like he'd never seen me before in his life, and the death stare he gave me, I was like, oh no. I said, Francis, like, you know, 1-1 now, you did it to me in the room earlier. We both got into the elevator together, most intense few minutes in a very small space with a terrifying human being. But there you go, a side note. So anyway, I appreciate these things, is what I'm getting at. I look out for them and I notice them, and I thought that was quite funny. Right, we get past the lack of fist bumping with the corner. They're now in the octagon, both Jacare and Holland. Holland was in the red corner, he comes out second. And both he and Jacare are like having a little dance to his walkout, which I thought was very cute. I thought that was quite funny. And then we get into the fight. The serious stuff, which is what you're here for, the serious analysis. Well, let's just say that Kevin Holland, the unorthodox fighter that has skills absolutely everywhere and proves it time over, went to do some fight stuff on the ground with one of the most recognised jiu-jitsu players turned MMA fighters we've ever seen. You'd think going to your back with Jacare in top is just bad. As soon as you get to the mat, as soon as you feel a bit of canvas on anything other than the soles of your feet, bail. Like, get back up, run the other direction. Not Kevin Holland. Confident in what he had. And quite rightly so. This is MMA, it's not jiu-jitsu, and we have a new move, ladies and gentlemen, and Kevin Holland was the purveyor of such move. So there are sweeps and things that one does in movements that you do in jiu-jitsu, like you use your body as a pendulum sometimes to create momentum, to get out of positions, etc. Well, we saw Kevin Holland use a pendulum effect with a punch, and he knocked out Jacare whilst he was on his butt and put Jacare into a really nice stretch on the front of the legs, the quad stretch, all the way back. Terrifying. Like, where did this come from? But he essentially like swung his leg back to then come back around for the right hand, and he tagged Jacare, and that was the end of it. It was spectacular stuff. I don't know what we call that, but a pendulum punch off of the back. I mean, if Kevin Holland's listening to this, he'd be proud of me for that, I'm sure. But it was a great win over a big name. When I was talking about Hermansen and Vittoria, I mentioned Kevin Holland and how that all worked out. And I said this is a really big name for him. And he's got it on his record. He marches on. So 5 wins in a calendar year. That's truly spectacular stuff. Oh, and before I leave you with the whole Kevin Holland stuff, he called out Hamzat Chimaev for like next week. Badass. I don't think that's going to happen, by the way, because I think Chimaev's in Sweden and, you know, visa, blah, blah, blah. Plus Dana's going on his holidays now, which means he's probably not going to push that through. But there you go. All the same, very much enjoyed it. Fantastic performance. And he is becoming like increasingly one of the fighters that I just want to watch all the time. I mean, we pretty much are watching him all the time. So I want to watch him for a 6th time this year, maybe 7. Is that even possible? Probably not. Right, let's see him in 2021.